All right, so you found a home you love and now you want to move forward. So the next step is preparing the offer, but there's a lot more involved than simply just choosing the price. I'm Michelle Bell, and in this video I am going to walk you through what actually goes inside a real estate offer and how the agreement is structured when buying a home in Ontario. So once a buyer is comfortable with the property, the pricing, the market, and the overall strategy, our next step is preparing the agreement of purchase and sale, or the offer. So this is a legal agreement between the buyer and the seller that outlines the full terms of the purchase. So every offer can look slightly different depending on things like the property, the market conditions, and the seller's situation and the buyer's goals and comfort level. So purchase price is one of the main components of the offer. So before deciding on our price, we review comparable sales, current listings, market activity, condition of the property, overall competition in that market. The goal is to make sure that the offer price is supported by the current market while also fitting within the buyer's comfort level and budget. So next we have the deposit. The offer includes a deposit amount, and the deposit forms part of the buyer's total down payment and is usually submitted within 24 hours of the offer being accepted, unless otherwise stated in the agreement. The deposit shows the seller that the buyer is serious about moving forward with the purchase. The amount can vary depending on things like the property, the market conditions, and overall offer strategy. Next part of the offer is the conditions. So conditions help protect the buyer while they complete their due diligence on the property. So common conditions may include things such as financing, home inspection, or status certificate review for a condominium. The timelines for the conditions can vary depending on the property and the market conditions. In today's market, many offers are still conditional. The timeline we are at in today's market is generally about 5 business days. So next we always talk about the closing date. So closing date is included in the offer, and this is the day that the ownership officially transfers from the seller to the buyer. The closing date can sometimes become part of the negotiation process depending on the needs of both the buyer and the seller. The agreement also outlines what items are included or excluded from the purchase. So this may include things like appliances, light fixtures, window coverings, garage door openers, or other items attached or associated with the property. Making sure these details are clearly outlined in writing helps avoid confusion later in the transaction. I generally tell people, if you pick up a house and shake it, all the stuff that falls out belongs to the seller. The things that are attached are generally included. But when we do our showings, we like to go through when we find a house we like and note all of those things that the buyer would like to include in their offer. Another important part of the offer is the irrevocable time. So this is the amount of time that the seller has to review and respond to the offer before it expires. During this time, the seller may accept the offer, reject the offer, or counter the offer, send changes back to the buyer. In negotiations, most offers involve some level of negotiation. So this may include things like price, closing date, conditions, deposit, or terms that within the agreement. Part of my role is helping buyers understand the negotiation process and working to bridge that gap between the buyer and the seller to put a transaction together. So understanding what goes inside an offer helps buyers feel a lot more prepared before entering into negotiations. At this stage, buyers are not just choosing a price, they are building a full structure of the agreement that will guide the transaction moving forward. In the next video, we are going to walk through what happens with an accepted offer and a firm deal, including financing, inspection, condominium status certificates, and how conditions are fulfilled. So please follow along for the next video. I'm Michelle Bell.